Just so y'all know, we're live on YouTube now, so.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, well, then, yeah.
Have done something specific?
They went up last night.
Oh,
The question is, do they need to be in here because they're not so readable for everyone? Because it's very small, and I asked, could we put them just outside the door there? That way, while people are waiting, they could read that. Because also, if you came in, and you're like, oh, hey, wait a second, let me read this before we start.
yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, the code says needs to be posted in the room where the hearing's conducted, but I don't know that anybody's gonna,
Well, I mean,
in terms of
there was nothing on
usability.
that wall, so we can put something on that's not bad. It's not a bad thing to put on the wall around here.
No, I mean, it's
better
good
than
to
a
have it,
picture of
just the usefulness of it, like people being able to see that.
I don't think people really read that kind of stuff anyway.
Yeah, plus they also do get it in their
In the package.
scheduling package.
Yeah.
Have you
that's
ever
true.
read the property tax code?
Sorry?
I mean, reading the property
Before I
tax.
go to bed.
Yeah, reading the property tax code is rough. I mean, you have to have a heck of attention, your attention span has to be really good.
Yeah.
If not, you just end up thinking about.
And there's things
real
that
things you have to do in your normal life, you know?
that the attorney straightened me out on, you know, we were, what was it? I forget one thing where said, you know, I was saying how a certain part of the code did not include agents or something like that. And she says, no, you got it backwards. It includes everybody unless it says to exclude somebody.
Ah, yeah, it has like an exception clause.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, no, I agree with you on. It's pretty dry and just the layout of the stuff, at least online,
it's
is.
hard to
Yeah.
follow, it's hard to be.
And you look at something and there's a, you know, section 1 and then a B4 in parentheses and
So
then,
you're supposed to go.
and then
right
another
against that.
paragraph down below is B4 again. Okay, and I said, is that an error? No. Because there were two different
Yeah,
bills that updated that. And I don't know how she finds, she's plugged into some stuff, the bill history.
yeah,
Like the stuff on single member panels.
yeah,
That actually came out of the Senate, not a subcommittee, you know, it was an amendment that was introduced in the Senate.
yeah.
Wonderful, what were they thinking? You know,
Yeah,
It should be triage.
complication, even more so.
sorry?
It could be triage for boards to be able to handle stuff without having everybody.
No, yeah, I mean, you just don't know what the thinking was. The perception might be that it would be quicker with fewer people, but at the same time, because of the other aspect of having to have a recommendation hearing afterwards, where it is taken to the full board, and that slows things down. And it just, and in larger districts where they have special panels, this is not a big deal. Because they already are set up to have a separate special panel, and that special panel has to bring a recommendation back to the full ARB and blah, blah, blah. So it's similar from that standpoint, but for small districts, it doesn't make as much sense, yeah.
Scott, are you ready?
Oh, we're going, yeah.
Okay, y'all ready for the first?
Yes, let me open the hearing. It is Wednesday, May 25th at 8:33 p.m. and we are 8:33 a.m. Thank you. And we are opening a session of the Aransas County Appraisal Review Board. Do we have a quorum?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so we're open for hearing.
Okay, I'm gonna bring in Stephen Rochelle. You'll be sitting back.
Morning. It is early, isn't it?
Get it over.
That's good. Okay. All right, so we are commencing the hearing on case ID 2022-37, account number 31733, Oak Bay Club Resort Condominiums, Unit 407, and a percentage of common interest in common elements, rather. This hearing is being recorded. We verify what's being protested. Okay, Q1, Q2, market and equity. All right, we are the appraisal review board, which will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience, and the survey can be completed using a form here and turned in on your way out, or you can take it and send it back in, or email it to pcad.communications@cpa.texas.gov, or you can actually take it online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey-ARB. The survey is voluntary, and all that information I just went through is also included in the determination package that you'll receive in the mail after this hearing.
Okay.
You also have the right to appeal our decision, and appeal information will also be included and provided to you in that determination package. In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So this is important. We have all of your evidence has been submitted here that you'll be using today. Great. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I, Scott Wagner, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
Excuse me, I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66.
I, Joanne Ferguson, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66.
I, Ron McCann, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
I, Peggy Berg, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
Okay, all testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath and can be asked to swear in now.
And if you will, state your name.
Stephen Rochelle, I do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
I, Ray Preston, do solemnly swear from the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Thank you. So Stephen, I need to ask you if you hold a license or certificate from the Texas Appraisers Licensing and Certification Board.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. This is everything, one of the things we need to ask. All right, under your stack there is hearing procedure times. This is also included information we received earlier, but you have the option of having of you going first and presenting evidence, or having the district go first. You get to choose which you would like to do.
I'll go first.
Excellent. Okay.
So you have 5 minutes to start, and then you'll get some extra minutes if you want.
Very good.
We are trying.
So go ahead.
Yes, sir.
My evidence is simple. I bought this property in March of 2019. So the appraisal, if I'm thinking correctly, the appraisal is based on its value as of the 1st of this year, correct?
Yes.
There's what I paid for the property 2 years and 10 months before January 1st of this year, $90,000. Well, the valuation that you put on it, tax valuation of $130,000 is a 44% increase in value from what it was worth on the real market versus what it's been assigned to it now. This property has had no updates at all. It's built in the mid-80s, second floor condominium. That's my case.
Anything else at the moment?
That's it.
All right. Ray, you have 2 minutes cross-examination and 5 minutes for your presentation, so 7 minutes.
Yeah, no problem. We'll just go into evidence, our evidence. So this is Oak Bay condominiums in Country Club.
Yes, sir.
They're located off of, is it Augusta? Champions.
Champions.
Yeah, Champions, yeah. So let's just go to the sales grid. We're gonna have comps. We're gonna use comps from 2021. The first comp is 404, the subject is 407. Sold in June for 148.5. It's the same square footage. Comes out at 142,165. Making an adjustment for age, effective age. The next comp is unit 504. Sold for 169 in May of 21. Comes out at 169. 408 has a square footage adjustment in there. It's that comp is larger, 100 square feet or so larger. And then the last comp that we have in here is in 2021 in April, 185. And has some adjustments because of age and square footage. Comes out at 151, giving a median value of 151, 189. The equity grid, you'll just notice that in the equity grid, there's very little adjustments because there's so much uniformity within a condo complex. So it's unit 408, unit 401, unit 402, comp, the subject is 407, rendering about a median equity value of 134.80. They're essentially the same units, with the exception of the distinct units. One of them is slightly different next to land. I'm not sure why. Two of them are slightly $390 difference in their common element land. So it's a different percentage of ownership, but anyways, it's negligible. 130, 40. So the district's opinion here is that equity is good and that from a sales comparison approach, we are below value on this condo. That's all I have.
Okay, Steve, you have 4 minutes to cross-examine, for bonus for 4 minutes if you have some questions of Ray.
The only question I have is the other units you used as comparables, are they second story units?
You may know better than us, being someone who lives there. I don't know. The sales are unit 404, 504, and 1204. I don't know. I don't know what those represent.
That's a key question, I think, because if you buy a condominium, first floor is premium. Elderly folks, people with disabilities,
Yeah,
anybody who wants to carry groceries wants a first floor.
yeah.
Second floor is just not the same value, and that's a big question in difference in valuation.
Also view in Country Club too, right? If there's a fairway view.
Oh, always, yes, yes, yes.
And so in our.
Very few of those in our complex.
Yeah, right. Most of them are. There is a chance that comp number 2 is there in our grid. There is a chance. I'm not saying it is, there's just a chance because it's not labeled as off fairway. Like you're labeled as off fairway, comp number 1 is labeled as off fairway, comp number 3 is labeled as off fairway. So if I'm gonna make an assumption, I'm gonna say comp number 2 potentially has a fairway because it's not labeled as off. And so how we're distinguishing value in here has less to do with first or second floor, apparently, and more to do with what kind of view you have. Again, that's just an assumption I'm making from the way that we're labeling our neighborhoods as we have an off label or neighborhood, which is in the country club off, that's off fairway.
Yeah, that, in a condominium, that's parking lot.
Sure,
Versus
sure,
the golf course.
yeah, sure, I hear you. Possibly pool, but I don't know, I don't know the exact layout. Anyways, we just don't have any real proof that says that this condo is worth less than 130 or 80. And I'll give you the same spiel I give everybody. I would say your 2019 purchase was a good purchase. Because I see lots of bad purchases. So every time I get to say you made a good purchase, I like to say it.
That's no doubt, but I still, the key to me in my mind is, I wish I could sell it for that, but I don't think there's much chance of me selling that because second floor is a world of difference in the condominium world. I mean, that really matters in using them as comparison. And
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't in this office. Sometimes we have that kind of data. We have that kind of data in key label condos. We have first and second floor adjustments sometimes.
sure,
But no, we don't have that data in every place. We have it in the Reef, we have it in one of the Kontiki, the one that looks like a motel. We have it in there, but we don't have it
I live in Hidden Oaks and it's, I'll promise you, first floor and second floor,
Yeah.
same floor plan is about a $40,000 difference. It's big difference. The two next to me in my complex recently sold each, and I don't know the final sales price. I think it's more than $40,000 difference between the valuations. I just feel like the appraisal district needs to drive out there and look at the units.
Well, we do
Where-
that, but that wouldn't do us any good in this case, right? Looking at a unit, it's really just studying sales. It's the understanding of sales. That's what tells you what the value is.
Right, but understanding sales means second floor sale versus first floor sale. I promise you, if I'm selling and I'm on a first floor condominium, I've got a higher value property than a second floor condominium.
So then my question is what's the proof other than your opinion? What's the data? I need the data. That's what changes it for us.
Then I have no case.
Well, I'm not saying you're on the case, I'm just saying you run into a hard head here. I need the data.
I still doubt seriously that I've made a 44% gain on an investment in 2 years and 10 months. I just,
It's not hard to do right now.
Market condominiums right now is off the charts because there's so few available. So in terms of the question whether you could sell it for that, that's probably.
well, I've wasted your time.
Well, you're always allowed to question this. When it comes to our time, I also want to look at sales.
I'm just
Sales
guiding,
pitch.
so whatever y'all want to do.
Well,
Do you have anything else you'd like to add at this moment?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's ARB, can I go ahead?
yeah, the sales grid, Ray, that is based on Oak Bay Club Resorts condominiums with no differentiation per se of first floor, second floor, that kind of thing.
Right.
So one would assume, although we don't know for sure without calling through these, that at least for the period of time that this report was pulled, which is all of 2021, so it's January 1st, 21
Right.
through beginning of 22. And there are 10 sales that are referred to in this sales report, sales ratio report, which one would believe, include some second floor units. Although we have no specific proof.
That's right.
And the congruency is 1.0, or the weighted mean is 1.03, which is very high. Congruency with among all of these sales. So again, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but at the same time, all the data that we have would seem to support what we have here, what has been presented. Plus, it's also, it may not be well known, but the tax code requires, I mean, it's not a point of thing where we have any choice, or the district doesn't have any choice. It has to be appraised at market value. So given the sales that are shown here,
Since we don't have the ability to determine whether these are upper or lower units, you may know based on the number system, odds are up, evens are down, so sometimes that's the case. And Kaylee wrote this, but I don't know how they.
and you did mention that you knew of some sales that had taken place. Although you didn't. If in the future you were to protest, that's the kind of information that would be very, very helpful to us as we're trying to make a decision. Even if, because we can always go back, given that information, and check specific units and that type of thing.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have any information that would lead us to change the current.
Very good.
Based on the information you presented.
Oh, golly.
Very good. Yes, so, okay, sorry.
I make a motion on case ID 2022-37, count number 31723. Addressing the market value and ratio ratio. The noted value of 130,000 or 80 based on evidence presented by the district should stand.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
So in the future, if you had any information in terms of up the lower units that you need, you can go in and look at.
Okay, Mike.
Valuations of other properties in the condo. Determine if they're up or lower. Look at it from that standpoint.
Okay, very good.
Okay,
Well, thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
and you will receive the determination package in the mail here shortly.
Very good. I appreciate your time.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Hope I didn't wait.
No, not worry, never.
Y'all have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Also, do we want to solve that?
Need for security again?
Yeah, we'll be right here. I think it was January.
Have any more?
I don't think so. I think we have, Val will be back
Oh,
here.
here she comes.
Okay, you're right, that's it for the 8:30. We only had one show. So I thought maybe we could talk a little bit more about scheduling. I figured it would help if y'all had a calendar, so I can run off some copies real quick. I'll be right back.
put in, I already have scheduled vacation time. I know I'm going to go. I'm not gonna do it, but
I'm going in October.
I really need to go September, that's fine. I'm going to session.
I hope so.
I'm going in September.
8:30.
Yeah, we're gonna have a quick discussion about calendaring stuff, so Val's just.
Right.
Shoot us once.
Yeah, in relation to the scheduling itself, just throwing it out there. You know, it's hard to gauge everything off the first couple of days, but our no-show rate has been exceptionally high in comparison to the last 2 years. Our no-show rate is what, upwards of 70% or better.
Wow.
Isn't that right, Val? Our no-show rate is 60 or 70% right now for the first 3 days.
Yes.
Okay. Would you, one of the things that I'm gonna throw out there is, do you want us to bump the number of cases per day? There's always a challenge, and there's always a danger to doing that, because if everybody shows, then we're having to we're gonna have to hear those people another day, because there's no possible way we can get them in. So we've kind of found the formula to be 32 over 16 in the morning, 16 in the afternoon. That's something you should discuss internally and decide what you want to do. If you want to just understand that we're pretty far out as far as scheduling right now. We're to what day? Second week in June already. So we wouldn't be able to affect anything until, after June, because we've already sent notices. So.
Yeah, but there's been days too that we run over, that cases took longer.
Absolutely.
Couldn't hear them all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or we realized 6 o'clock at night.
I know it's a level of granularity you may not have, but is there any differentiation based on the kind of hearing, telephone and affidavit in person?
I've not been able to discern anything over the years, just any generality that piece of information that I can give you. I've not been able to discern that. You might have a phone hearing that goes short, you might have another one that goes long, and then vice versa with the people that come in. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah, I was thinking more if the no-show rate is more applicable, the higher, we get a higher no-show rate of in-person, not quite as high with telephone and not quite as high with affidavit and that kind of thing, which may, I hadn't thought about whether to mix them up or just say this is affidavit day, or, I don't know.
They're already scheduled. They've already scheduled.
Right.
Yeah, that's for, into June,
And
but going forward.
Anyways,
yeah.
I don't want to muddy the waters too much. I just thought I'd throw it out there for discussion's sake, but Val has some things to bring to your attention.
Yep.
Yeah, Beth and I do. So as far as what you were just talking about with the telephone conference and video, what happens a lot of time on that is we won't get the affidavit in. And then even if they do call in, still can't hear the case.
Sure.
So that's kind of the situation this morning on the 10 o'clock docket. We have 4 possibilities. 2 are phones without affidavits. So it's very unlikely that they will have that in before the hearing starts. And then we scheduled 8 per docket for this time, and either they were settled or rescheduled or withdrawn. Those are all.
So we don't know why they didn't show.
No.
More than likely, what you said then.
A lot of times we'll hear from them, like later today or tomorrow. Oh, I missed my hearing. So, and at that point, they have to write a letter to you to see if you'll grant another hearing. All right, so a couple of things Beth brought up this morning that we need to set as Saturday hearing date. We've got to offer.
Sorry, yeah, I know.
No, thank you.
We don't like it either.
Seems like typically we've done it kind of the second week of July. I guess it gives a little time for people to say, hey, I need a Saturday. The other option would be, I would say August, because as time goes along, if it's 15 days less than the 9th, which is gonna be somewhere around the end of June, then we can't schedule them for that Saturday unless they sign a waiver. So what I'm saying is, further out we go, when we get another Saturday request, we don't have to set another Saturday. But if we do the 9th and then we get some Saturday requests, then we'll have to do one like again in August.
Why don't we just do one there? I don't recall having that.
Yeah, and last year, as I recall, we had it scheduled and there was nothing. There actually wasn't.
We actually kind of used that Saturday for an agent, I think, to try to, because we needed to get the 95% before the, and that's another consideration for going ahead and doing one around that time of the season, just in case we need that to hit our mark on the 95%.
Yeah. Works best for you.
I would say, and I know Mike historically has liked to go ahead and have it, I would suggest July 9th at this point.
Yeah.
July 9th.
We schedule the whole day though.
It's just the morning
It's
unless
usually
we
just the morning.
somehow had
Yeah.
some kind of flood of requests, but we try to keep it to just the morning. And I believe we begin those at 9 on Saturday. We begin it a little later. Speaking of 9, 9 o'clock starts our Pritchard and Abbott appraisal company that does the minerals and the industrial type appraisals. They give us the dates that they would like to have hearings. And this year they did give us July 1st, which is a Friday. So I put it on your ARB schedule last time to try to give you a heads up, but if you could mark that on your calendar, and I'm also sorry, that's right before the 4th of July weekend. But that was what
So they
was
just
agreed
get to
to.
tell us when they want to do it, and we can't say this is that.
No, Mike does confirm the dates and he did sign off on it.
And that's a 9 AM.
That would be a 9 AM to 12 PM. So we would not schedule anything else, that day. So hopefully it would not be a long morning. Although I know with them they are doing some kind of like industrial real properties. And I want to say last year, it did take pretty much that 9 to 12 slot, so.
Haven't there years also, they settled it out.
They have. But I would guess that it would probably be the same scenario as last year on those properties. And then their other date they gave us was a Monday, and I want to say that was July 18th. But that's just on our regular schedule.
Is that Pritchard and Abbott also?
That is.
That would be at 9 or at 8:30?
They have typically liked to do 9. So we'll leave it for 9.
18.
The 18th is 9, not 8:30.
Correct. And we will schedule regular hearings then that afternoon. And in fact, at that point, they may not have any more hearings. And if they don't, we'll try to use their time slot. So the other thing is the single member panels. That said, we have 85.
Did you get that posted? Okay.
And so when we were looking at our schedule, right now we have June 20th will be an SMP day. So only Scott Waggart will come in that day.
I'm sorry.
The 20th of June.
Yeah, we've been talking about, and maybe we didn't resolve this. So you guys get involved.
Okay.
Maybe in the morning and the afternoon, or vice versa, or that wouldn't.
Let's do this first one. I'll do the whole day, just because I just don't know how this is all gonna work out.
I know.
And so we'll get a better sense when we have the
The next day.
The next day, when we get to the recommendations, is there other information that we need to make available to the full board that doesn't get us into having that hearing, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll go from there. Now, the next one, I don't care if you want to do a full day.
I just assumed a half day.
Okay, so, and if you wanna, what's the next one we have scheduled after the 20th?
It would be the
22nd?
22nd. And it's really fine. We don't have to do anything ahead of time as far as how y'all want to parse it out.
Yeah, okay.
Well, so on the 20th, we won't be here. The board won't be here.
Correct. Nor will the full board be here on the 22nd of June.
But we
And
will
that's
on
an
the
all-day
23rd
or
and the
part day?
23rd.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Recommendation stuff.
So that's a Tuesday, Thursday week for you. And so then we need to go on into the next week.
And we were doing, how many, we were gonna schedule a day?
It would be the same, right? Because it's gonna run the same time.
Right, so 32
If
is
y'all wanna
per
keep it at
day.
32?
It's about a difference of
That's,
7, so yeah, it's gonna pretty
And
much
that's
be
fine,
8
'cause
per.
the same no-show behavior and things like that is gonna apply as well. 'Cause
Yes.
They have people that
Yeah,
don't show up, there's really no difference between this hearing and the regular hearings in terms of how the
time wise.
the protester, yeah.
So on the single member days, that, the one individual guy, I assume we're gonna stand by the same timeframes. So that person will be keeping time as well.
Yeah,
Which is a little cumbersome, but it's okay.
and yeah, between that or maybe we may prevail on one of the different people to.
Would that work or would that be a problem?
That I don't know, we'd run it by
Yeah.
Mike, yeah.
Because, try and keep your thoughts straight and listening and watching the clock and, okay, you go, whatever, it could get you a little off whack,
Yeah,
so.
Okay, I'll make a
Just a
note of that.
suggestion, so.
I'll check on it.
Yeah.
So the days we don't show are June 20th and June 22nd.
Mhm.
at
Correct.
the moment, yeah, we're probably
Okay.
gonna have at least one more.
All the other times we show, as far as we
Probably the
judge
following week or.
Yeah, that's what you.
And then we're gonna
said,
start again on the
27th.
27th
with.
Yeah.
with this, with just one person.
Unless we wanted to throw that one way down the schedule. If you wanted to resume single members.
We could, that might be a good idea in case we get more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how much, again, we're gonna get into the value question,
Yeah,
these probably aren't huge, but, so the option is we could either go ahead and do another single member panel day, because we do have a full data schedule.
Yeah.
And then responses back from the ones you sent out.
But they,
So,
It's got
Give it a day or
so
two.
it hasn't been that long.
yeah.
I'll be curious to see
yeah.
how many come back. If they're low,
So you think the 27th?
I would think so, I know Mike has indicated he does wanna get these knocked out, so
So the 27th.
Go ahead and start again the next week.
I guess so.
Okay. And as of now, we're gonna leave the 29th open just in case. I know we're gonna be
No.
getting
We'll do
more
half.
protests for like a few more days.
I say any more single member panels, we're gonna throw to the back.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
because there's a little more note taking and stuff.
No, it's.
And we're not necessarily trying to exclude you guys, but at the same time, after we get through a couple of these recommendation hearings, as well as by this time of the season, you will have participated in some number of these, so we'll see after the 27th if any of you guys want to put your oar in the water.
As you get into it, just put some notes together, your thoughts of what, something we may need to know,
Sure,
and we can kind of ponder it out.
sure, absolutely. Okay, but the key thing is I didn't want to make it sound like
No,
we were
not at
trying to exclude you.
No, we're not
Don't
even
even
thinking
go
that way.
there.
Okay.
No, necessarily.
We're here to get through them all.
All right, I think that's,
So let me tell you, I'm gonna be gone week of July 25th. And August 1st. 2 weeks.
Hello?
I'm gonna be gone too. There's 2 weeks. I'm gonna take-
So what do you feel about, I'm still kind of on the fence
No.
about this S&P.
No problem.
Taking up all this time.
What's that? I'm
That's
sorry.
Leslie.
I just
You might
guess
want it
if
to
they're-
be-
Oh, I know.
Oh.
Both of us.
Taking care of, yeah.
Yeah, so we're actually in a good position with our board, because with 5, we can have 2 people gone without impacting schedule.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
I don't use these, I use my phone.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That was just for your reference. I know when we're talking dates, it's hard if you're not actually looking at something.
You
So,
know, and just so you, I'm sorry, and just so you know, I'll be gone from September 16th to the 24th, which I don't think should interfere with.
we're going to definitely hope
I was gonna say,
not. Yeah, but you know, there's no telling.
yeah, we never know.
I'm going in October, so. I need to be finished by then.
Yeah, by then we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16th to the 24th,
Yes,
Joanne?
so I'll be back on the 25th. Do you anticipate us going through August at this point, or?
I would guess so. I mean, you know, definitely hoping
We did
that
last,
maybe.
we did last year.
Yeah, we went right through the end. And then, of course, we have, you know, a few cleanups, like there will be at least probably 1 meeting in September, if not 2.
I have some things pending, but I don't know dates yet, so how much time do you need to like, to
Well,
let Scott know or?
Yeah, yeah, if you let me know,
Let you
and,
know, okay.
you know, given knowledge of what y'all's schedules are, again, 2 of you can disappear for a while without impacting
Yeah.
your scheduling and stuff like that.
And it would only be a couple of days.
On the 14th of June, I have a 2:30 doctor's appointment here in town. But yeah, about 2 days.
Okay,
Good day, is it?
On the 14th of June.
Yeah.
have you got anything else? Procedures here related items?
I think everything's good, going good.
Don't have any questions for us?
yeah, I'm really interested to know if that letter has any effect.
I'm hoping
As soon as we get
that
at least one back, like.
Yeah, so, and right now, the only agent was that one with 17.
Yeah, I'm going through my agent folder right now to make sure I haven't missed any,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so far just that one. We've got 17.
But there's another one that normally comes in, and that's 30 or 40 cases.
Well, they want single. That's what, yeah, that's why we're talking about that, yeah.
Yeah, so there was one agent
Yeah.
that had 70 cases.
That's the same agent that normally comes in.
It's one of our usual, yeah.
Yeah,
And he does the same things every.
Yeah, this is like one of the kind of smaller ones. 17's not that many.
All right, well, I guess y'all are on break until we see who shows up for the 10 o'clock.
very good.
No, not you.
I'm gonna borrow my car, my truck.
We can come back.
Yeah. Okay.
I was really looking. No, we're not.
Did you want me to get those calendars?
We
out
actually
there?
are, but
I know you said you didn't use yours. back on.
Here we go.
Okay.
So a letter received on May 25th. It's to the ARB. My name is Juan M. The ID is 8817735. 111 White House Code Drive, Fulton, Texas. Appraisal hearing was scheduled for May 24th, which was yesterday. 3 PM. I was told by someone at the appraisal office, the ARB would be calling me at that time. Called the office at 3:15, because no one called. It was a misunderstanding, I apologize for this meeting. I would like to request another meeting with the board over the telephone, at first if possible. So what happened here? He didn't call him?
We don't call for phone hearings. He did call, I think he said he called at 3:15, might have been like a minute later. But he did not have his affidavit of evidence in for his phone hearing.
Oh.
So he did bring that in this morning with his letter.
Oh, so we now have the.
Yes, now. But yeah, they're really.
So the question is, do we grant him another? And then he wants to come in here in person. So since he missed the meeting. We can decide whether or not.
They get a grace period, don't they?
They have to they have 4 days to write you a letter, and you determine if it's good cause, if you think they should get another hearing. And then, but when they call in the day of, or they can't reschedule at that point. It has to be rescheduled the day before or earlier.
I'm not exactly sure what happened here. So he didn't realize that he had a meeting at 3 o'clock?
No, he was assuming that the office was gonna call him,
Oh, I see.
and it's really the other way around, the protester calls here, right? They have to
call
issue,
back.
and then they're called back with.
And the letter is in your tablet, if you want to see it, you just would
It's
go,
the same as this.
yes, you would just go back.
Well, now, wait, I'm confused. We don't call if it's telephone.
No,
They
they
call
have
in.
to call,
They call in first.
that's correct.
And then we let them know.
And part of the reason for that is scheduling, okay? So, do you have all the stuff? Do you have,
Okay. I'm
when
clear.
exactly are we going to be able to call them back and blah, blah, blah? 'Cause-
So that's what he missed. He did not call back
We thought we were gonna call him,
to schedule everything.
to talk to him, apparently, right?
Right,
So.
right, the day of the hearing,
He didn't call in because he thought we were gonna call him.
Right, but then he did call, and he called very close to the deadline time. So our initial thought was, we'll ask you, are you okay with that? But there was no affidavit of evidence. So,
He didn't have everything.
So today he brought the affidavit or something.
right, he brought it in with that letter to you.
I personally don't have a problem. Allow reschedule.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah,
This is
I
a
have
communication
It
thing.
sounds like he didn't realize.
Right, but we do get this a lot. So you have to think about it, as far as setting a precedent. Is everybody that doesn't need or get what they need in for their hearing, are they
Yeah,
going to get a reschedule?
I was
So
gonna-
now is, excuse me. If he should have had his evidence in when he called. That should have
Correct.
all been in already.
Right, that's what's in that notice of hearing that you send to
Okay.
whenever we schedule that hearing, we send that out. Has all the instructions. It says, if you have a telephone conference, this is what you need to do. It's on the first page.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
backtrack,
I
because
am.
I'm looking here at the instructions in the
It's
scheduling
clear.
notice, and it's pretty darn clear, bold, no. Okay, so first off, it says a notarized written affidavit of your evidence must be sent before your hearing. He didn't do that. all evidence presented, blah, blah, don't know if he's gonna have any, but in any case, and then it says, first, you must call at the listed time, at the time listed above, and that's in bold.
That's pretty clear.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I agree with.
Setting the precedent. I didn't realize we had a lot of these, so.
Yes, it happens quite frequently.
Yeah,
It's spelled out right there, so.
yes.
Yeah, if it were just a communication problem, he had everything, that would be different, but since he didn't have everything. So yeah.
According to the letter received from Mr. Bam, PHA, property ID 88177735. In light of the information presented, buy-in terms of missing this scheduled phone call, I would recommend what we not grant and just one.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Should we also mention that he did not have all this paperwork?
Yeah, the letter that
Explain that.
Val Craft should say for cause, or,
Because it's really two issues.
It's just one.
He missed it, and he didn't know where it was. Or he had not submitted the information, or I missed it pretty clearly.
yeah, consistency is the key thing.
Yep. And that would open to those conversation.
Yeah, it gets sticky when you.
Yes, sir.
What happened was that she just indicated that that's happened many times, and you do it with one person. You committed. Yeah, I agree.
We do have a 10 o'clock in person that's signing in right now, so we'll get the evidence in and the notary book signed and we'll be ready to go. So it's going to be case number. Case number 212, it's at the top of page 3, account 8821335.
The top of page 3, 8821335.
What's your property ID?
No.
I also wanted to check before I did to switch it to my homestead. I wanted to see what the status of that was, if it happened for last year.
Okay, so you think
Maybe
yeah, we have applications first. Yeah, so any applications that April are still
So that's all.
I think so, yeah.
She did mention she was scanning and stuff. I don't know if there's visual or not.
Where is that? Yeah.
Wandering Oaks, I believe, is the subdivision out there of the homes built.
Not exact.
Up 1771 to our left on 3036, it's on the right hand side. I think that's one.
I think they're not, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I believe they're still building.
Okay, so you're talking about for inquiry.
Expensive.
So I didn't realize they had that many trees in there.
It's like,
Sounds great. Thank you. If you-
Yes, you did make it happen. Yes.
Y'all can always start without me. No, really, like, don't wait for me. I'll be here.
we didn't get very far without it.
Yeah. I wanted to see somebody driving through.
Yeah, right. Just so much nicer. You know, last year we went the whole season. Trailer.
Yes. When we have the settlement.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how they, how the door. Yeah.
So you're ready?
I don't know.
Hoping it was out.
Yeah, we should ask just to make sure.
Y'all ready for
We are-
Lisa Jeffrey? Okay.
We do need an operator.
And a paper.
Yeah, Ray said start with that.
Like an
Break in.
Secondary. Or part of the big,
Oh, really?
I think so.
Okay.
Because if you're in here and there's a fire, you
That was my one, sorry, that was just my one time for today though.
the secondary door.
So if I get that, then I just bring that down.
Then you bring that with your driver's license.
Exactly what
Which I'm assuming
Aransas
is
County requires.
property address.
So like our bedroom.
Yeah. I think so. I've been there 37 years, it should.
I can't imagine what else you'd have on it.
Right.
Right.
Okay, very
And
good.
that's it, and we'll get the paperwork going. And you know how that works.
Yes, we're ready for you.
Yeah, let's do
We'll
it.
wait for Scott.
Okay.
You already
Yeah,
have.
We've already asked him.
What's he doing?
He said he'd be right here.
Once you're on the.
There he is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're ready, yeah.
Got his tea ready.
I do, ready.
Have a seat right here.
Yeah.
Lisa Jeffrey.
Are you? Good.
county tax rate, so.
Ready, Scott?
I am, we're all set.
So we're commencing a hearing on case ID 2022-212, account number 8821-335, Wandering Oaks number 2, block 2, lot 13. This hearing is being recorded. Verify what is under protest.
The protest is, you want to get to market value.
No.
Also note that there is a homestead exemption on this topic. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. So at the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form, and we have a bunch here that you can do before you leave here. So you can use that survey form and email it to CAD.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey ARB, or just fill it out and leave it here. Okay, the survey is completely voluntary. But we do appreciate it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you in the determination package that you'll be receiving in the mail after the hearing. In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. This is important. We have all of your evidence. Okay. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anybody about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect.
But that's a lot.
I, Scott Wagner, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.63.
I got the copy of this, I swear that I communicated with a person in violation of tax code 41.66. I solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person.
I said,
in violation of
Almost,
tax code
maybe.
41.66.
Anyhow.
I, Ron McCann, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66.
I, Peggy Bird, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath, so we have to swear in at this time.
I do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct. And if you'll state your name, please sit up right.
Okay, I need to ask if you hold a license certificate from the Texas Appraisers Licensing and Certification Board. Okay, fine. Okay. So we have to ask everybody. All right, so under your evidence, there is the procedure hearing times. This is how the hearing will be run. You have the option of presenting your evidence first or having the district go first. You get to make the choice.
Let's have the district go first.
Okay, this is in Wandering Oaks, which is the Hogan subdivision that is outside new apartments. Apartments. And
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
so we'll just go straight to the grid, sales grid, and just look at this grid. There are gonna be sales in this area, right? Because it's development. So the first sale is comp number 1, sold for $394 in May of 21. It's the same size and the same year. So for $394, May of 21. So the adjustment in here that we see is just for swimming pool. I believe. There's a little bit of a land adjustment in comp 1, but the difference between the two properties really just lies in the land difference and the swimming pool. they might be the same. Looking at the photo to see if they're even the same design. It looks like the porch on the subject comes out further in the front. Maybe. Okay, comp number 2 is January 1, 2022, sells for $431. Differences here are that it's newer. There's a land adjustment. There's a few adjustments in here for garage size and porches and all that stuff. Comps out to 441. And then there's 3 more comps, so. Next comp is comp 3, it's 434 in October of 21. And then we have a 429 in June of 21. The 5th comp is 429 in April of 21. All of them are pretty close to square footage. There's not really any big issues on these comps as far as one of them doesn't belong or anything like that. So the median value would be 453. If we go to the equity grid, these are not cells, these are just us comparing houses. Here, they're all gonna be in this Wuthering Oaks, and it looks like they're all the same square footage, which is nice. So the differences here should be fairly minor, maybe just some garage sizes and year type stuff. Comes out at 447,988. I don't see anything weird with these comps, or any kind of major adjustments that they're pretty, there's some uniformity. So that's the end of our evidence.
Okay, Lisa,
Yes.
you have, 2 minutes of cross-examination, 5 minutes for your presentation, so 7 minutes.
So my biggest concern is the percentage increase that we're going up. I understand you get 10% and that's by law. But compared to everyone else in our neighborhood, we're the only ones going up 10% for the ones that I looked at. I understand we have a slightly larger lot, I would say slightly. We also have a pool, which we didn't put in this past tax year. It was put in before that. We are adjacent to a vacant lot, which is zoned commercial. And those lots have been split up now into 1 to 1.5 acre lots that are still commercial. And there's rumors going around, there's gonna be Chick-fil-A, there's gonna be all these things. Well, that, in my opinion, decreases our value. We are gonna be right next to this commercial lot, probably the back of the lot where the dumpster's gonna be, or the parking lot.
Is this where they're gonna be fully multiple, like strip center or something?
Yes,
like that?
that's what it sounds like. So that, yes, we picked the larger lot when we bought the home, but now it's decreasing in value for that reason. All these, who knows what is going in there? Who knows what kind of people are gonna be coming through there? So that's our biggest issue with this, is that we are so much of a higher increase than everyone else with the same, very similar house size, lot size. And then the fact that we bumped right next to this commercial area, which will probably be developing within the year.
Still have plenty of time. Anything else you want to talk about or add or question?
Not really. That was interesting, all these comps. That one sold at $394. And then their value much more, but yeah. I didn't know if y'all had anything to add about the commercial area, since we didn't talk about that at all. How do y'all bring that into the value of the home?
We bring that into the value in the home afterwards.
After it's built?
Yes, because that's for sale. There's someone that bought that and then a church bought down from there. So that it's a 6-acre tract. That has a new sign up and they split it up. And so the question of the day is, for us is number one, what is it gonna sell for, that land? And the second question, I think it's a fairly decent question, is what are they gonna do about the fact that to the northwest, there's a huge spoil area? What are they gonna do about that? That's an interesting thing. So, and then what does that mean for you, for Hogan Homes in that area? I would also say that the appraisal district is also waiting to see what kind of effect Pearl Point has. Especially on that first road, is that first road Dream Oak? The first road that's closest,
Shady Terrace, I think.
that's right there by,
Yes.
is what kind of effect in the marketplace will it be? Because personally, if I would have bought there, I would now let it move from there.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna look in the
So,
before they.
But we're always, I know this is cliche, we're always the end of the spear, not the tip of the spear, which is a very cliche thing to say, but it's also very real for us. We're never at the front, we're always a year behind, trying to figure out, oh, that's what this is. The increase in value, the 10% thing, a couple of things about that. One, the sample size doesn't bother me. You know, you looked at these ones, it looks like to me you did the right thing. You found ones that were very similar to yours in square footage. Normally, I wouldn't be very concerned about an increase in value, but 10% compared to 5%, that's a concern. My one question I have for you is, did you protest last year?
No, I've never
Never protested
protested.
before. That's good. I mean, not that that's good. That doesn't, well, what I was gonna say is that there was some kind of settlement made, and then when we go back to calculation, then the increase will just be larger every time, because the settlement's always gonna be the other way. It's possible that you added the pool in 20, but we didn't put it on in 20. I'd have to check. So there would be some increase there. I don't, other than that, I don't have an answer. I also, I don't know what this looks like when we put more properties in there, but because some things that can cause problems in here is like percent complete or other settlements. They can create problems with the math. All I do know is when I look at your property card, and I look for what are the signs that something's wrong, it would be that we are artificially increasing the value in a way that isn't congruent with your neighbors. And that's going to be found on the property card under physical economic function area. And it would be a number larger than 100%. And it's not there. So we're not doing anything to you on purpose for some strange thing, like you had an outdoor kitchen and we can't figure out how to value it or something like that. We can do some pretty weird things when we're struggling to figure out where this value is coming from. But we're not doing it. And so now you just have your normal neighborhood subdivision adjustment. So I don't know. I don't know why there's a 10% difference. I also didn't do the calculation. So I have a concern that I would have a different calculation, that I would have done the numbers different. So I think that's my rebuttal, that's my everything. Yeah.
You have some time, 15 seconds.
No.
Hey, Lisa, you have any questions for Ray?
No. I'm really good, and I don't have really anything to say other than what I've said.
All right, then, if you're complete, and if you're complete, then the ARB has 5 minutes to deliberate.
Is there a way to find out what the neighborhood adjustment was last year?
Sure. Scott, can you do that?
122,
Say that again?
122%.
122%.
Right, this is last year's card.
So for 2021,
Yeah, the previous year,
previous.
and now it's 140.
I had a little bit of concern in terms of what was presented and that they had. I mean, all the comps bear out with it's essentially priced correctly or assessed correctly. Or with the other properties, the 10% increase, where the average seems to be more like 5 to 6%. That's really stands out at 10%. So I'm not really sure about that. But I would be willing to look at something like reducing that to 6% or 5.5% increase as opposed to 10%. Which is kind of strange because like I said, the district's figures do indicate that the value of 447 is appropriate. However, how percentages came into play is curious.
Scott, can we look at the Picto for this area? I have a good sense of where street mode and shadow loss.
Are these streets all fairly comparable?
Yes.
In the whole development?
Yeah, there's maybe 6 models to choose from, and I think they differ between 500 square feet.
They all be good size of property and.
And the lots are even very similar.
The biggest difference in here is the interior choices you decide. You decide, there's a smorgasbord of things that you can.
Which is that, how can that be taken into consideration? Okay, I was gonna say, all you can see is the exterior.
I'm not gonna have, we're not gonna be over there.
Right, looking at my windows, so please don't do that.
We won't, they won't.
Okay.
So your property is the one that's highlighted?
Yeah.
So is this, now that we can't take into consideration here, the commercial properties, the backside of that? Is that
Right,
where-
that whole, yeah, that
whole
whole.
66090
Yes.
is all commercial.
Mhm.
You know that before.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, sort, I mean, you don't have to know that when you, who knows what that's gonna be? Or if it's, no one knows, I mean, nobody knows. It's got issues, if you, Scott, pull down this way, look at that. I mean, that's not insignificant.
Right.
That's not like, hey, let's get a trucks out here and fill
Is
this
that
in
where
with
Pearl
dirt.
Point's gonna come in there, the backside is, can you pull that down again, Scott?
Sorry, I'm trying to zoom out so you can see it all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's crashing on me.
It's not gonna be bad. Pearl Point's the opposite side of 66090. It's Pearl Point right there. It's okay. It's right there. It's Pearl Point.
That's the new Pearl
On that
Point
side.
down here.
What, right there?
This is the
Okay,
new
and
Pearl
that's the-
Point. This is the old Pearl Point.
And so down from that would be the gas station.
I wouldn't think so.
Yes.
We don't really back up to it.
Yeah,
When we bought the lot, the commercial area was one big piece.
yeah.
So that to me makes a difference because you're not
And now
so
Hogan is,
concentrated.
there's a street here. Street right there now, and there's gonna be houses.
Mhm.
And this is owned by a church. And those lots up there, the 21 and 86 are in the market right now. And they're replatted with, they're split, they're broken.
Is that what that 88 number starts with, that indicates that it's a split?
It just indicates that
Came off of
it's
the-
new, it's what it
Yeah.
really indicates, is that
Yeah.
those are the, when you see those, it's a new account.
Mhm.
We don't have any more.
Gotcha.
Stolen.
Well, if, I've got some figures here, you talked about a 6% opposed to the 10%. At 6%, we get 420, 449. At 5.5, it's 418, 465. And I would be comfortable with either one of those. Preferably the 5.5.
And then what's the-
418, 465.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Property.
I'm sorry.
That's everybody's opinion.
Yeah.
It's one thing, it was two properties.
Case ID
My mother-
212, account number 88213335. Addressing incorrect appraised market value, appraisal ratio exceeding the level of appraisal. Based on information presented by both the district and the protester, that are being reduced the noted value of the property from 447,550 to 418,465.
Second.
All in favor?
418465, was that the number?
418469.
Well-
465.
Go.
You can round it up to 460 if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so is your motion now that it's a different number?
Yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead.
would you make a new motion, please?
Restate that on the same account that I just mentioned, we're reducing the value from 447,560 to 418,460.
Second.
All in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay. You understand what we did?
Yes.
Thanks for coming in.
Yes.
You put together some good numbers that really helped you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it
Thank you.
Have a
good day.
great day.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate
All
it.
good?
Yes.
Okay. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Right, that is all the hearings for this morning.
We have possibilities for 1:30.
Yes, 1:30 and 3:00. We definitely do.
Yes. So this was it.
I think 4 of those on the 3:00 are all one person. Thank you very much.
All right. See you later.
So are you all adjourned? Did you all adjourn?
No, we're just.
Okay. No, I'm not trying to make you adjourn. You do what you want to do. I'm just determining whether I'm turning this off or not.
Yeah, no,
It's
just let it
just
go.
gonna keep running because you're still in session.
Yes. No, that's fine.
Just trying to make sure I'm doing the right thing.
So we come back at 1:30.
Yes, ma'am.
That's plenty of time.
Oh, check your.
That's 63.
I'm at 86.
I'm 63.
Wouldn't hurt to plug yours in. In fact, I'll take it if you want.
Okay.
Bet you didn't go out fishing last night.
No,